Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Rob.
And this is Ask Rob and Rob.
Hey everyone, welcome to Ask Rob and Rob, the show where you give us your delightful questions and we try to give you an equally delightful answer or two. And again, it will be two this week because we have two great questions coming up. But before we give you the answers, let's give you the process. How can you get involved with this show or our Sunday Times article at the weekend?
Yeah, life is complicated enough. We don't need to make it harder for you. We made it really easy. You just have to go to propertyhub.net/ask. That is it. You can leave us a voicemail there, or you can submit a written question for the Sunday Times.
Hi, Rob. I just wanted to say a big thank you for the content that you provide. I've been listening for a long time and I find that your content has been really transparent and very insightful. So thank you for that. My question is, if you've got 200k to invest, would you invest it up north for cash flow? So I found 3 properties that I wanted to purchase, or in London for a redevelopment or an auction property just to gain some equity and capital. I'm stuck between the two options and I don't know what the best way is. How would you suggest?
Thank you for your question. It's a really good question. The thing is, you have a lot of options. You've pointed out 2 in your question, but actually, you have a lot more. You could do the same strategy that you proposed in London, redevelopment or auction, in the north. Or you could try and find some cash flow properties in the south. A little harder, admittedly, but it's still possible. Maybe not as good as the north, but still possible. There's also other areas of the country that you could go after for cash flow. So, the one to go for? Let's slow down. The one to go for will be dictated by your goals and your life circumstances, and then the strategy you put together when you consider all of that. So, let me give you an example. If you have a very short-term financial goal, then that will immediately rule out certain types of investment opportunities. So, if you are in it for capital growth, for some reason you need to turn around your money in the next 4 years, then it's not going to be the best strategy. You probably should be looking at flips or redevelopment or things of that nature. If you are in it for the long term and you are time poor, and this is the life circumstance part, then you do want to go for something a little more passive, like a capital growth play, for a property that may not have the strongest yield, respectable, but not the strongest, but in an area that's considered a good area, in a strong rental area, and they'll just tick along. So what you need to do is decide on why are you doing this in the first place. Put a number on that. That's your goal. Set a time for it. So, okay, I want to achieve this financial outcome in this amount of time. And then do a self-assessment of your circumstances. And that includes how much you have to invest. So you know that. You've got 200k. What skills that you have. Are you a project manager? Are you a carpenter? Are you someone who's a whiz at Excel spreadsheets? Whatever it may be, what skills can you bring to this process? And then be really honest with how much time that you can put into this. And then once you've gone through that process, it will start to immediately rule things out. So, for example, if you are time poor, then doing redevelopment projects or HMO projects is probably not going to be an option for you. So by going through this process, you might not end up with the exact way of investing, but you'll get very, very close to it. Because at the moment, you're talking about very different things in very different areas. And it's because you haven't got that focus of an outcome that you need to achieve. But once you have that focus and you have that outcome in mind and you're very honest about your circumstances, I'm sure you'll go on to be a success. Good luck.
Excellent advice there. Let's move on to our second question.
Hi, Rob and Rob. This is Deep from Birmingham. Really loving listening to your podcast, guys. Keep up the great work. Fantastic content, and it's really helped to inspire me to start thinking about property investment. So I'm just in the process of saving up enough of a deposit to put down for my first investment property. My strategy really is then to, over the next 10 to 15 years, to hopefully buy some additional properties for a bit of a longer term addition to the retirement pot. So my question is really, aside from listening to your fantastic podcasts, your Sunday Times articles, YouTube videos, etc., is there anything you think I could be doing over and above within the next 5 to 6 months while I'm waiting to top up that deposit amount to really help me hit the ground running when I start to hopefully purchase my first property? So that was my question. Really look forward to the response and keep up the fantastic content, guys. Cheers.
Thank you, Deep. Great question. It's really good that you're asking this now. But the good news is you're doing so much right already and that you're already learning from some pretty great materials. And more importantly than that, it sounds like you're pretty fixed on a strategy. You know what you want to do and why and how you're going to do it. So that is great. So how can you make the most of the extra time that you've got on your hands? So one thing that's possibly a bit lacking at the moment, based on what you've said, is some more structured learning. So you may be doing this differently, I don't know, but if you're just listening to podcasts and YouTube videos as they pop up, they could be on pretty much any topic. So you're broadening your general knowledge base, which is great, but you're not necessarily learning the specific thing that you're going to need for this stage in your journey. So there are different ways of getting that more structured knowledge. One is books. I've written a couple of books. One takes you through the whole property investment process, start to finish. The other is focused on property lettings and management and takes you through that process, start to finish. Other books are available, I'm led to believe. But whatever it is, a book like that might be useful because it tells you exactly what's coming up. Something that I find useful while I'm learning is sometimes to have a complete read through of something to give me an overview of the whole thing, but then go back to it and reread the specific bits that are relevant to where I am right now. So today, it might be how to research an investment. In 3 months, it might be how to deal with the conveyancing process. So that's one thing. Another thing you can be doing right now is building up your team. So if you don't have a mortgage broker yet, really good idea to find one and get them involved early because they can add loads of value through the whole process, including looking at deals early, sometimes before you even make an offer to sense check it for you, make sure that it's mortgageable and so on. Same for having a solicitor. If you can get one of those lined up, that is great. And you didn't mention your tax situation. So maybe it's really cut and dried for you. You know exactly what you want to do. But if not, see if you can find someone to take some tax advice from before you do anything, because structuring the purchase correctly is so important. And it's much easier to get right at the start than it is to try to fix it later. So those are the two things that I'd be recommending to you, Deep. Build up your team and get some of that structured knowledge that deals with the place in the journey that you are now. What you should not be doing, which it doesn't sound like you are, is getting distracted. So don't overlearn. Don't expose yourself to too much and have your head turned by all these different fancy things that you can do. Just do what you need to do and learn what you need to learn, and you'll be in a really good place. Good luck with everything.
Good luck indeed. And dear listener, good luck has come your way because we will be back on Thursday with the Property Podcast. And then, if that wasn't enough, on Sunday, you can read more questions being answered by our good selves in the Sunday Times. Check out the home section there. And of course, we'll be back same time, same place next week, answering more of your questions on Ask Rob and Rob. So until those momentous events occur, take care, have fun, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.